Your love is amazing, steady and unchanging. Your love is a mountain firm beneath my feet.
Welcome everybody to the Faith and Fitness webinar that we're doing right now. My name is Bill Nissen, and I'm here with Pastor Steve Willis. It is our pleasure to be with you today to explain to you how we can be a blessing not only to our church and to the families in our church, but to those in need through the Faith and Fitness initiative. We've been doing this since 2010, and we have seen tremendous results already as far as millions of pounds lost, but also millions of dollars, we can now say, at least $1 million raised already through this initiative, and we're just getting started. My name is Bill Nissen. I'm a pastor in Iowa, and I've been in full-time ministry since 1993. I've also been an entrepreneur for the last few years, and have helped launch the Faith and Fitness initiative in August 2010, along with Pastor Steve Willis. Now, Pastor Steve is pastor of First Baptist Church in Canova, West Virginia, and he helped launch this Faith and Fitness initiative. Really, he kind of spearheaded it with what took place here back in 2010, which we'll talk about here in a minute. He was, in 2008, the Center for Disease Control named Pastor Steve's town of Huntington, West Virginia, as the most obese, unhealthy city in the United States. After that announcement, Jamie Oliver from ABC's Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution came to town to help mobilize, along with Pastor Steve, the needs of the community to change their diets and to fight the obesity battle. Since then, that has brought a lot of national exposure to this concern that we're going to be talking about here. And that's when Pastor Steve and myself then partnered with ViSalus to make this effort that he was doing in West Virginia a national cause. Along with many other passionate members of the ViSalus community, we made the Faith and Fitness initiative a continuation of that mission to help disadvantaged families across the country receive healthy and affordable food options. Now, to aid in that, I was thrilled last year when Pastor Steve authored his book, Winning the Food Fight, which can be found at winningthefoodfight.com. And this is broken down in 12 chapters. So for like 90-day study on really what is the concerns in the church with the health of our congregations, but also to address the needs of the health of this nation and the children in need. And so this is a great book to send to your pastors, to send to leaders, to really understand the heart of what is going on in the Faith and Fitness initiative. What I'm also thrilled about that I get to brag on with Steve is the fact that we've had such an impact with this. He was asked recently to do the opening prayer for Congress, and that just happened recently, and it was a thrill to see that and to see the video. So we're starting to touch the nation to a level that many people are noticing. And so having shared all that, it's my pleasure to have Pastor Steve Willis with me on this webinar. So thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Bill. It's good to be here with you.
Now, just share your heart as far as, I kind of gave a brief overview of how things got started, but, I think people would really grab more a hold of the heart of what you saw and what was put on your heart and what motivated getting this whole thing started.
Yeah, the thing that I saw immediately in my area, actually it's two things. One, when I was doing ministry to adults, I did youth ministry for many years, but starting to do ministry with adults started hitting me how much time I was spending in the hospitals. And mostly, Bill, especially for our area, the diseases people were battling in the hospital were self-inflicted. And what I mean by that is it had something to do with their diet. They weren't taking care of their bodies. And I actually had a friend pass away. And since that time, many friends pass away long before their time, 10, 15 years before they should have. And it's just because they didn't get their body the nutrition they need. And also within our church, I saw a lot of kids struggling just academically because they were struggling with attention deficit disorder, ADHD, and even in my own son's life, he went from being less than 50th percentile in math to when we changed the way he eat, we got him on some of the omega-3 vitals. When we got him on that, he went to the 90th percentile math. He literally went from a failing student. He got held back in kindergarten.
Wow.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what
Wow.
you had to do to get held back in kindergarten, but we had to hold him back in kindergarten, and he went from getting held back in kindergarten to literally the best in his class within 3 months of when we changed the type of nutrition he was getting. So this is
Wow.
what it tells me, Bill, as a pastor. If we've got kids who can't learn the way they need to learn, who can't be all God created them to be, if we have adults who are literally killing themselves with food and not getting the nutrition they need, and they're not able to serve God with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength, this is the number one social justice issue in America. And as the church, we have to address it.
I totally agree, and I've seen the results that you're talking about as well with families. Not only like you said with attention deficit, but just the ability to be active with their families and really be available to do what God's put on our heart to do to affect our communities, have the energy and the physical ability to do it. So I totally agree with you on that. So from there, you started to teach on that and address those concerns and got some national exposure. So just share a little bit about that journey and what that was like.
Yeah, I mean, we started teaching on it here, and that's when, only the Lord could work things like this out. Is Jamie's people heard one of my sermons that was run on CNN about the local pastor addressing the obesity issue, and we
Mhm.
were doing the same things here he was doing in England, except Jamie had a whole lot more resources. So they brought ABC television to our town, and they called and said, "Hey, can we partner with you to teach people how to cook healthy and live healthy?" And I said, absolutely, come on. So they came, and it was a number one reality show TV in 2010. It won an Emmy Award, and we've really seen a major change in our. And in fact, the obesity rate in Huntington, West Virginia, the report just came out last month, has actually dropped 8% in the last 2 years.
Oh,
Now,
fantastic.
I mean, you think about that. That means in our area, we have 4,000 less obese people than we did 2 years ago. So, I mean, a lot of that comes back to the initiatives we're doing, getting people to get involved in this process and get healthier. And part of the team that jumped on with that is I had some guys from ViSalus called, just like Jamie Oliver did, and said, "What can we do to help Huntington, West Virginia?" And before I knew it, the CEO of ViSalus, Ryan Blair,
Hmm.
and COO, Blake Mallon. They were on a plane. They came here and they said, "We want to make an impact in Huntington, West Virginia." Now, since that time, Bill,
Yeah.
since ViSalus has been involved, I mean, we've literally raised over $1.5 million worth of donations to our local area. We've provided over 350,000 meals here in the Huntington area. Now you think about that, 350,000 meals to needy people in the Huntington area. And we just finished with over $1 million donation to our local area food bank,
Yeah.
thanks to the contributions of ViSalus distributors all over the country.
Yeah, it's been incredible the crescendo I see in this. I know we were excited when we hit the $1 million mark about a year ago, and in a much shorter time, we crossed the $2 million mark that I know you and I were both really promoting and encouraging this last summer. And we're going well beyond that now. I mean, because like you just shared, is just a few weeks ago, over $1.2 million of nutrition was donated in 1 week. And that's just with what happened in your food bank. But I know that they spent thousands of cookies all over the country to 100 other food banks. So this is having a national impact, isn't it?
No question about it.
So this is phenomenal, guys. We're feeding families in need good nutrition. And now share a little bit because some people are going, well, that's great, but I'm already helping with my food bank. Um, what is unique? Because I know you and I talked about that is the nutrition that's really offered in the food bank.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. Anybody can go into the local food bank and look at the food that's on the shelves. And
Yeah,
I just want to ask this question. Is the food that we're giving the people coming into these food banks, is it really serving to make them healthier? Or are we just getting something in their belly that's going to make them fatter for another day? I mean,
right.
that's the reality of it. It's high sodium, high fat, low nutrition product that's going into all of these food banks. And with ViSalus, by making a donation to this, I mean, the number one need that every food bank I've talked to in America, and I've talked to hundreds of them, Bill,
Yes.
number one need is sources of non-perishable proteins. And that's exactly the major of, of ViSalus Sciences.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's exciting here is we're not only able to help food banks with bringing food, but actually food is going to help people and not add to the obesity problem. So this is exciting, guys. Obviously, it's a passion for both Pastor Steve and myself, and we're excited about where things are headed, but we want to bring you along as well. We want to be able to show you exactly how every church, every ministry can do this without distracting you from your main purpose in ministry, to come alongside. Because I don't know how you can say this isn't the main purpose, because this is Jeremiah 22:16, defending the poor and the afflicted. This is the heart of Jesus. What we can do to effectively use the tools we have here to help families with what they really need nutritionally in a way that's going to be not only affordable, but for free. So, Pastor, if you want to stay online and chip in a little bit just these next few minutes, feel free. But I'm just going to walk through exactly what it is that we can do to help them out.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So the Faith and Fitness Initiative allows faith-based organizations to have the ability to feed families in need and support ministry with a community challenge website that we will give to the church at no charge. That's absolutely right, for free. And this opportunity allows churches to make a real impact in their community by donating quality protein and nutrition in a non-perishable form, as you just heard Pastor Steve talk about, to children and families who are unable to afford healthy food options, and raising funds for the ministries at the same time. And we'll explain all those details here in a minute. Now, along with this, because our main focus is feeding families in need, but as you just talked about, Pastor, is one of your concerns was in your congregation, the health of your congregation, seeing friends pass away. And I know there's a lot of churches that have health and weight loss support groups within the church. And so this program will also allow them to get regular challenge kits to improve their health, knowing that in doing so, they're supporting their church at the same time, right?
That's absolutely.
Now, is that something you guys have done in your church or churches that you've been talking to?
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, other churches have done as well, but I mean, the easiest thing for us has been to say, okay, guys, the number one need in our local food bank is non-perishable protein. Now, we can keep giving money and buying junk, or we can give money and buy a product that's going to be good for them,
Yeah.
namely Vashake.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we just take up a special offering here at the church.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first Sunday we did it, we got $2,500 or something like that. But that's 100 bags of shake.
Yeah.
100 kids that are going to get, you know, 2 months worth of shake mix to give them a healthy meal. So I mean, it's that simple, Bill. You just say, people, will you support this need that we have, number one need in our local food bank, and people will give to that. And then when you order that, Bill, ViSalus sends a royalty back to the church, depending, you know, on the percentages of how big an order you did. But
Right.
in our example, they sent about $500 to $600 back to the church that we used to buy more shake. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that could have been used to send kids to camp. It could have been used, you know, ViSalus doesn't give it back to you with strings attached. You can use it for whatever ministry you desire.
Awesome. Awesome. That's absolutely right. And so, however that's used, whether it's your congregation getting kids for their own goals to get healthy or into donations, all those can help create a royalty payback to the church. So you can continue to add it to any ministry, whether it be youth ministry, missions, or the food bank itself, whatever you want to use it for. So here's how we get started with this. Is simply this part we do offline, and that is you can get this independent promoter application from any person that is in ViSalus. And if you don't know how to get one, just let me know. I'll get you one. And you just fill out this independent promoter application. But what we do then is across the top is we will write faith and fitness across the top of the application. Now, where it says as for social security number or EIN number, that's where you put in your 501c3. And you're going to also want to write in 2 or 3 different people to be administrators of the church's account. And that's because, people move and whatever else. That way we know we have somebody there that's going to be able to help administrate this program for the church. So just write Faith and Fitness across the top. You don't have to put anything in the credit card area, obviously, because we're giving the website for free. And once that is done, then you want to scan it and email it to info@visalus.com. And once it's been approved, we simply collect donations. Like Pastor, you talked about, you just collect donations to church. And that's frankly one of the things we recommend is don't send them to this website that I'll be showing you here in a few minutes, but just collect offerings within the church or whatever you do. I know some churches do car washes, not this time of year probably, but different things to get donations. And then once they've created enough donations that they think they can benefit the most, and I'll explain more of that here in a minute, then they enter the amount in their ViSalus Giving website page that they got for free, and they select a charity of their choice. Now, as Pastor Steve just said, up to 25% can come back to the ministry. It does depend on volume. You want at least $2,500 of volume donated to get the 25% back. But if you have $500 donated, then you're looking at 10%. And so it just is a graduated scale. And it also depends on if it's a retail product for a kit and a support team or a support group, or if it's a donated product, that'd be a 50% prorated rate. So those are things that we'll answer for you if you plug into this. But you just enter those donations in the ViSalus Giving webpage and select the charity of your choice. Here's a new upgrade that makes this even easier to add charities to the Faith and Fitness program. Is when you get set up with your website, you can get into your back office, and then there'll be these tabs along the top. And you go to the Challenge tab, click on Community Challenge, and you come into this page. And it shows you how many meals have been donated already through the Community Challenge. And then you can either donate or request a charity right here. So you click on this button, and it will pull up all the information you need to add the charity of your choice to the program. It's going to ask for you to load up files that would certify their 501c3 and all those details, but it'll walk you through every step of the way. It's as simple as that. From this website. So we're going to go right to this live website. This is mine. And this is what every single one of you will get for free. Is you'll have all the websites for free, but this is one you'll be able to plug into for free, where you can help feed a child in need. With a $24 donation, you can donate 30 ViSalus ViShape shake mixes, and then ViSalus will match it. So we have 60 child-sized portions that have been donated. Then you come down here and you can select a charity. You can go my nearest charity, one that's on the list, or if there's a disaster relief like what we're seeing happen right now in New Jersey, we've seen Joplin and West Virginia earlier this summer. And then you can then also just select the charity of greatest need. If you don't know who to give to, you can just select any of those options. So let's say in this situation, I'm going to say my nearest charity. And then I'm going to select United States. And here I selected Iowa because I'm from Iowa. But let's just I was talking to Pastor Steve. Let's select West Virginia. So we're going to West Virginia, and so when we select West Virginia, there is his church, First Baptist Church, Canova, West Virginia. And so then we can say however many pouches we want to donate, $24 per pouch. In this case, I'm putting 105 pouches in there because I wanted to get 25% back. So I want at least $2,500 in donations. Now, if you don't want to do that, I mean, here's another thing you can do. Let's say we're going to do 12 pouches donated. The reason why is they will hold the donations until there's 12 pouches, so that because they're not charging you any shipping. So if you do 12 pouches, then you know it'll be shipped at the end of that month, and then you can donate it. You can always just order one if you want. That's fine. Just recognize they won't be shipped until they have 12 scheduled to go to that food bank. So in this case, I wanted to get the full 25% back for the church. So I saved up $2,500 in donations. So that's 105 pouches. So then I have my order. Then I can just either select, yes, I want to do this on a monthly basis, or no, I want this to be a one-time donation. And you fill out the information. It's as simple as that. So I hope this has been helpful to really show the simplicity of how this automation works and how this can be a blessing to you and to your community. And we want to thank you so much for being on this webinar. Thank you, Pastor, for being on and sharing your heart in what we're doing. And we will be also posting right now a phone number I'll put on the screen for our National Faith and Fitness National Live Call, which we do the second Thursday of every month. So for being with us on this webinar. Take care.
Hallelujah.